Hi friends, welcome to Love Good Lane. My name is Matthew. Thanks for joining me. Today we're back in the kitchen and let's make some pumpkin bread. And if I do say so myself, I think this is the best pumpkin bread that you'll probably ever have. So give it a try. As always, you don't have to worry about writing down the recipe. I'll list everything below the video in the description box. So a little backstory on this one. Many years ago, probably 25 years ago, I worked at a grocery store. It was called No Frills. This is over in the Omaha area. And I don't think No Frills exists anymore. But at any rate, there was a monthly employee newsletter that they put out for the employees of that location, the location where I worked. And in the November issue that year, they had this recipe for pumpkin bread. It was from someone in the bakery department. So it does make 3 loaves. The original recipe makes 3 loaves. I'm cutting it down. I'm cutting it in half, so we make 1.5. I've got one regular size 9x5 loaf pan, and then this skinnier doodad. We're going to use that one. So I will list the original recipe below, but you can cut it in half if you don't need 3 loaves. In the past, I've made the whole recipe and then given one away, thrown some in the freezer, but I already have some other bread in the freezer, so that's what we're going for. So I have preheated the oven to, actually both of my ovens, to 350, and the 2 pans that I mentioned, these are both aluminum pans. I have greased them. I use shortening. You could use butter if you wanted, and then throw some flour in there and then tip it around. I do it over the sink so that you flour the pan and then tap out the excess. And that way your bread will come out of the pan once you're done. So the pans are prepped. The oven is preheated and I've got our ingredients out. Let's get going. In this bowl, I'm going to mix together 1.5 cups of pumpkin, which I have right here, which is, incidentally, that's how much is in is it a 14 or 15 ounce can of pumpkin, which I appreciate because honestly, I find it annoying when those recipes call for like a cup of pumpkin or half a cup of pumpkin. I know that you can save it in the fridge for a day or two to use in another recipe, but it's like, come on, can't we just figure out how to use the whole can so we're not being wasteful? But at any rate, we're going to put that in. I don't want to waste any. Use every last yummy bit. Okay, put that there. Okay. So that was 1.5 cups of pumpkin, and then here we have 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. I think that this is the best pumpkin bread that I've had because it's moist and it's flavorful. Oftentimes, I feel that pumpkin bread is one or the other. People get it moist, but it doesn't really have a lot of flavor, or it tastes pretty good, but it's too dry. So we have our oil, we have our pumpkin. We're also going to add in, this is 2 cups of sugar. And then 3 eggs. Okay. We're going to give this a good whisk and make sure it's all combined. That ought to do it. I am going to wash off my whisk so that I can use it for the next part. Okay, so in this bowl, I have 2 1/4 cups plus 2 tablespoons of flour. That funkiness is because of me cutting it in half, but it does cut in half pretty easily. So 2 1/4 cups plus 2 tablespoons of flour, and then to that we're going to add 3/4 teaspoon of all the rest of these ingredients. So 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. And I know that sounds like a lot of spices, but that's what's going to make it flavorful and yummy. We've whisked that in, and now we're going to, I think I'm going to add about half of this to the wet mixture. We'll start to stir it in. Just want to stir until it's just combined, but we don't want to work it too much because then it's going to affect how nicely our bread comes out. And as you probably know, pumpkin bread is a quick bread, which is closer to a cake than it is a bread, but that's what we call it. Banana bread, zucchini bread, they're all in the same boat. Okay, we'll add in the rest. Loaves of this delicious pumpkin bread, I think, make wonderful host gifts or a holiday gift, or maybe you're looking for a little something extra, a little something special for your Secret Santa, if you do that.
I want to help.
Almost got this worked in. Okay, so we're going to divide it evenly in our pans. Okay. I'm just going to smooth it out a little bit. Fine. All right. So we have it divided into our 2 pans. Let me wipe that off a little bit so we don't get a crunchy bit. And as I said, 350 oven. We're going to put these in and let them bake for anywhere between 40 minutes and an hour. I'm almost positive it's not going to be about an hour. I'm going to start checking them around 35 or 40 minutes. I usually use the toothpick test. That's where you stick a wooden toothpick into the middle, and if it pulls out without any wet batter on it, It's okay if there are a few crumbs, but if it pulls out without any wet batter, then it's done. Okay, we're back, and the bread is out of the oven. This slender, long and slender loaf pan